All right, well, thank you so much, Brooks, and thanks, Ben. That was a really interesting proposal or presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about a different way to provide benefits of renewable energy to the similar types of populations, as Ben mentioned, but via a different mechanism of community solar. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about our experience trying to enroll subscribers in a really great program, what we learned from that, and sort of what we're doing with those learnings to provide a service that is benefiting the community. I guess what I'm not going to talk about, which might be of interest to some of you, but is not my area of expertise, is like how to set up a community solar program. So there are others who are experts on like how to do all the mechanisms and financing, Ben probably being one of them, to like figure out how to make a community solar program work. I'm really going to be talking about it from the individual residents or families who might subscribe and benefit from a program like this. So, okay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit briefly about All in Energy, talk about some of the barriers that we see to energy program adoption among these populations, then drill down on like what community solar is, how it works, like our experience working with it, and then tell you a little bit about our newest service that we created to sort of meet the community needs that we identified by doing this work. And then I'll close. So All in Energy, we are a 501c3 nonprofit that was formed in 2018. We are on a mission to accelerate a transition to an inclusive clean energy economy. And we are working with cities and towns, as Brooks mentioned in my bio, to help provide access to populations who historically, of no fault of their own, have had low participation rates in our nation-leading energy programs. And to us, that means renters, non-English speakers, low to moderate income families, and increasingly small businesses. And we are also providing pathways to access the clean energy workforce to minority and bilingual professionals. And that's been a really rewarding and successful part of our operation as well. We partner with cities and towns primarily. We got our start in 2018 in Dorchester. We have expanded to additional cities in the last couple of years. We, in 2020, launched our first fully bilingual program in English and Spanish in the Merrimack Valley. And this year, we've been building out our first trilingual program in English, Spanish, and Portuguese in Framingham. And our most recent partner is the city of Boston, who has partnered with us to actually deliver our newest product, this energy bill checkup, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the presentation. I will actually note, almost all of these programs, except for the Boston program, are really focused on connecting these populations that identified to energy efficiency programming. So we're primarily focused on the MassSave program and the income eligible low income weatherization assistance program. We did some piloting with community solar and low income community solar when we began that in like the early COVID period, when some of that work was not able to happen because of social distancing restrictions. But most of our work with these cities is around energy efficiency. So just general barriers for low to moderate income families. We our sort of access and desire to take on loans or lock in payments, as Ben mentioned. I think part of the nuance that I learned doing this work is it's not only the access to taking on a loan, but it is the desire to take on a loan. There's a lot of folks who don't want to lock themselves into payments. They have managed to maintain good credit by keeping things a little bit flexible. So they don't want to bite off more than they can chew. Their future is often not fully certain financially. So it's not only just having a good credit score, it's also wanting to make that commitment. We met a lot of people, and people are much more likely to be behind on their utility bills, especially during the period when we were doing this, which was again, early COVID, when people were losing their jobs and there was a lot of uncertainty. But when you're behind on your utility bills, this particular product of community solar does not produce savings, and immediate savings from energy programs are less meaningful if you are prioritizing food and medicine and not focusing on paying your energy bills. And then just with everyone, but primarily even more so in some cases with the low to moderate income populations, people are super busy. They don't have the time to research these programs, make sure that they're accessing the most beneficial one. These populations have been disproportionately harmed by predatory third-party energy suppliers. So it's easy for people to just say, I'm not doing anything energy related. I don't have time to figure out if this is going to be harmful or good for me. So they don't have the time to make that investment to figuring that out and vetting the different products. Let's talk a little bit about our experience last summer, primarily working on these projects and into this year as well. So before we got started, we worked with a couple community solar companies to help them access like the populations we're serving, to do some surveys to help understand needs. I think the results of those, like the information they gathered from talking to some of our like low to moderate income clients, are still being incorporated into future learnings. So we did start offering a product without kind of incorporating that community feedback, and that produced additional learnings. We partnered with Sunwealth Financial to offer access to this solar carport, which is pictured there, which is at a temple in Acton. And we're connecting mostly residents in the Dorchester neighborhood of Boston to the benefits of that community solar program that was elsewhere in Eversource territory. And we worked with some of our community partners that we had worked with on energy efficiency previously. The West on Washington Neighborhood Group was a big partner. Union Capital Boston promoted the program to their members. And we learned a ton. We filled the program up, so that was positive. But we learned a lot, and based on the learnings that we had from this project, we created this new service that I'll tell you about in a little bit as well. So just a little bit more about the product. It's a really beneficial product. It creates this 20 to 25%. This particular product created a 25% discount on bill credits. People are able to make a short-term commitment, but also benefit from the program for up to 20 years. There's no credit check, so that's not a barrier. And people, it's really easily to cancel with no fee within 30 days. So we're really excited about offering that to the community. It has like a lot of benefits for the people that subscribe. The challenges, which I'll reference, is sort of a complex savings mechanism that involves a separate bill payment. You have to auto pay the bill by wire transfer or credit card. You only realize savings through that mechanism by reducing the bill that you pay to Eversource. So if you're not making those payments to Eversource because you are unemployed or prioritizing other more pressing needs, you don't realize any benefits. And then just as a minor one that has already been fixed, but at the time we were using the environmental justice community data from the 2010 census. So we were actually engaging with a fair amount of people from gentrified neighborhoods who qualified for this program, but like really were not the target audience. And we did enroll to fill the program up some wealthier gentrifiers in the Dorchester neighborhood. So that was just another thing that we observed as we were doing this program. So just to qualify for the program, you just need to be on the discounted electric rate, so have the R2 or R4 rate, or live in an income-based environmental justice community, which is sort of referencing we were in some of those gentrified neighborhoods from the 2010 EJC data. And then we had a requirement that you be no more than 2 months behind on your electric bill, because we wanted to make sure that people would benefit. And those are really the only requirements. You could rent or own, there's no credit check, as we mentioned. We don't have to gather any more information about you, just like get your electric bill and you can be enrolled. So that was the qualifications. Just a little bit about how community solar works from the customer's perspective for those that might not be familiar with it. So there is this farm, as I mentioned, that is in the suburbs, but in Eversource territory. So everyone who is in the Eversource load zone could access it. Basically every month, so actually as we enroll you, we look at your bill, and then we are trying to allocate enough production from this community solar farm to reduce your bill by 80% over the course of the year. Every month, you get monetary credits on your bill based on the production of the solar farm or your portion of the solar farm. And those just show up as as a credit, so like a negative charge on your bill. You don't have to change your supplier. It just shows up like on the bottom of the bill in this like transfer amount section. And that varies from month to month based on the production of the farm. So in some months in the summer, when there's more sun, you're getting a bigger reduction on your bill. And in the winter, you're getting a smaller reduction of fewer credits put on your bill. So that happens, you don't have to do anything, just appears on your bill. That is an easy part for people to understand. and that is the benefit. At the end of the year, you will have paid approximately 20% to Eversource as you would have in a previous year or without the program. The complicated part is the step 2 part, where in the subsequent month, after you've received this discount on your bill, you have to pay this separate bill to SunWealth, and you're buying those credits from that appeared on your bill at a 25% discount. So you're basically, buying these dollars that appeared on your bill for 75 cents, and you're always only paying for what appeared on your bill, and it's always at this 25% discount. So there's a lot of benefits, and there's no risk of paying for more than you received. But this is like a complicated one for people to understand. It is an additional bill. It's just inconvenient. It requires this auto pay, and this is where a lot of people got hung up on that. But at the end of the day, as you pay for these discount, the credits that you received at that discount, you basically get a 20% savings. So you're paying $100 before, now you're paying 20 to Eversource and 60 to SunWealth, and you're saving approximately 20%. Again, this varies month to month, and sometimes in the summer, you're going to get a lot more credits. Your bill to SunWealth will be a lot higher because the payments you make are directly linked to the credits that you received. And in some rare cases, you may have wound up paying more than you would have to Eversource if there was a lot of sun and a lot of credits. So it's a little bit even more complicated than it appears. But at the end of the day, there's guaranteed savings. For the people that this works the best for is if they're auto paying Eversource and they can set this up on auto pay to the same bank account. At the end of the year, there'll just be more money in that bank account. You never have to think about it. So what we learned by doing this, I did in this personally enrolled almost all of the subscribers. So I got to talk to a lot of people, look at their bills with them, explain the program to them, and we learned quite a bit. The first thing that I learned is people rarely, if ever, look at their electric bills. And because of that, sometimes don't know what's happening on them and are not aware of some of the existing programs that we have in the Commonwealth to help them save money, potential, not necessarily by being greener, but just to reduce their bill. This auto payment of a second bill was a deal breaker for a lot of folks. So that for various reasons. One, as I mentioned, they don't want to commit themselves to a payment. People, when they need to prioritize greater needs like food or medicine, will sometimes use their electric bill as a flexible payment. We were in a shut off moratorium during this time, so there was not a lot of risk associated at that particular time of not paying your bill. Another thing that was kind of shocking to me, but maybe was not that surprising, is that 40%, and I think now I've looked at more bills, even more people are enrolled in third-party energy supply contracts. And almost none of them are saving money by doing this, and some of them are paying 40, 50% more than they would. So that's just throwing away money. It was really frustrating and heartbreaking to see that. And then we saw a lot of people, which is also even more heartbreaking, carrying huge balances, thousands of dollars to the hundreds of dollars. And many of them weren't enrolled in this debt forgiveness program that we have. So wanted to help them with that. And then we met a handful of folks that were definitely eligible for the discounted rate, but were not enrolled in it. So that was just another one we're helping people. So I found myself, when I was selling community solar, helping people access a bunch of different programs and clean up their bills. And that was really what they needed at that time. They weren't ready to be in community solar. So basically, based on those learnings, we came up with why don't we just provide that solution to people? Let's help them clean up their bill so that they can be ready to access some of these renewable energy or energy efficiency programs. And let's solve actually the core problems that people are facing. And then after we've kind of taken care of that, we can get them connected to these other things that are going to be both save them money and beneficial to the environment, but maybe are a little bit more complicated. We meet people every day that say, look, this is a bill, I don't understand it, I just pay it, we don't know what's going on in the bill. So we wanted to provide the service. So basically what we came up with is this concept of an energy bill checkup. We are working with folks to do 5 different things in this energy bill checkup. The first thing that we're doing when we look at their bill, we're going to make sure if they're eligible for the discounted rate that they're enrolled in it, and that like gives them like an immediate 30% savings if they're eligible for that. Then we are going to look at their energy supplier, and then like I said, many people are enrolled in these third-party supply contracts, and almost all of them are paying more money for zero value. So we're helping them understand that, and then helping them cancel those contracts if we can get them out of them. And then again, like this debt forgiveness program, I've seen this. This is a great, that Eversource New Start program. They match your payments up to 75%, and like you get yourself in a place where you don't risk a shutdown by enrolling in this program. And like, I've seen people over the course of the year, since we helped them access this program, like reduce their bill by thousands of dollars through this program, their balance. And then after we've kind of taken care of that, or for the customers that don't need any of these services, we are introducing them to this community solar program if they're eligible, and also connecting them to energy efficiency through Mass Saver, the low income program. On the call with me today is John Simning, who's delivered almost all of these to our customers. And we've both captured feedback directly from the customers and also done some surveying. People love this service. It like really helps them understand their bill. They feel like they're saving more money. They had actionable steps to like clean up their bill. So we've been really trying to promote this a little bit more. And as I mentioned, we just created a partnership with the city of Boston to offer this to several hundred folks in the city in companion with the rental relief program that the city has. So really helping people, not only access the rental relief program, but also, let's take care of this other must pay bill that you have on your utility bill to help you reduce those costs as well. So that is all that I had to share with you today about what we learned doing community solar, how it works, and this new product that we've created, this new service for folks to understand what they're eligible for, understand their bill, and help them save money before getting them onto the green energy programs that we offer as well.